Hi, my name is Elizabeth Ellington, and we're going to find out today if your house has hidden money. Now, because I value your time, I'm going to try to keep this quick to about 15 minutes. A good business solves a problem, and a good business brings in good income. So now what is the problem I'm going to help you solve, and you're going to help other people solve? That is that in the US specifically, there aren't enough homes. Now, you can see on this graph of how many millions of homes have been built that we were on a pretty steady uptick until we hit the decade 2010 to 2019. The year prior to that, there were 14.5 million homes built, and it would have been more if we hadn't hit the recession in 2007, 8, and 9. And in 2010 to 19, we should have built around 17 million homes. Instead, we built 7 million homes. So that's a deficit of 10 million homes. Now, this program where we can help solve the housing problem in the US and other countries is for homeowners. It really helps if you can get in there and make changes to your existing dwelling. If you have extra space, and this can be a wide variety. It's easier if you don't have an HOA, but it can be done if you have one. And you have to have a success mindset. You're going to run into problems, and the people who just plow through and conquer them do the best. I had a hard time in math. It turned out I have dyscalculia, which is a math learning disability. But I always knew that if they gave me a problem, that there was a solution to it. And so I would just keep plugging away until I figured out the solution to it. And so that's what you have to be a good business person. Now, the new way to win is using current inventory for multiple needs. Now, let's just say you have an extra bedroom. You could use that for storage. You don't have an extra bathroom. All you have is a bedroom, but it's climate controlled. It's one of your bedrooms. And so you could make about $100 a month allowing people to store their things there. Let's say you have an area of the house that could be used, but you don't necessarily want people staying overnight. You could turn that into a photography studio, and somebody could come in during the day and have appointments set. Let's say you have a pool. There's a company called Swimply where you can rent your pool by the hour, usually a minimum of 4 hours. I've seen it from anywhere from $25 an hour way on up, depending on how blinged out your place is. Now, there is real money in accommodation. If you think about it, think about what your mortgage is or what the average person's mortgage is, and then divide that by 30 and you'll get what they're paying per night. And if you think about vacation rentals or short-term rentals, people pay a lot more. They pay more of hospitality prices. And so you can go either way with accommodation. Right now, there is such a need. Your neighbors need housing in most places in the US. And I'm only speaking about the US, but you are an expert in your country, so you can do a little research and find out if you're not in the US. Now, I want to introduce you to something called house hacking. What the heck is it? House hacking is a real estate investor term. That's for when somebody wanted to get a traditional loan on a property, which is a lower interest rate and a lower down payment, and they also wanted to live for free. That's pretty bold, huh? And so what they would do is they would buy a place with extra space. They would buy a duplex, a triplex, a quad, or they would buy a house that had a full basement, Or like what I've done the last 5 years with 2 houses, I haven't paid a mortgage out of my own pocket in 5 years. And I have taken 2 completely different houses built in different time periods and created my own duplex out of them. And I haven't paid my mortgage. Somebody else has been paying my mortgage for 5 years. And there's real freedom in that. So the new house hacking is actually house hacking for homeowners. You already have the mortgage. And if you have extra space, we can create income from that space. So let's look at, if you want to get into accommodations, let's look at kind of the minimum that you would need. You would need a separate entrance. I hardly ever see the people that are staying on the other side of the house from where I'm living. They have their own entrance, their own deck, and unless we happen to be at our cars at the same time, I never see them. Full bathroom. People need to bathe. And the nicer you can make the bathroom, the more money you'll get. You can do it in 300 square feet, and it is tight. Every inch of that has to do double duty. If you have more than that, all the better. It has to have windows. You can't put them in a basement and not have any natural light. Now, if you have a basement and it's not a walkout basement, there are things that can be done. Don't give up on that yet. Remember, we're going to plow through like this is a math problem. I always say you want to get to its natural conclusion, and I want to hear a solid no from 3 different people before I'll accept it. You want to have a kitchenette. At minimum, a full kitchen you'll get more money for. And you want to have a barrier inside your house in between their space and your space. Now, let's talk about the area. The area needs to be safe. If you live in a high crime area, this probably isn't the best for you. Nobody can guarantee safety, but there are statistics that show that some places are better than others. If you have an HOA, you need to have approval. And you need to check with your city or your county about zoning and make sure you're in compliance. You need to have a good location. And honestly, if you're going to be doing short term, the fewer turns they have to make to get back to the place, the better. If you're doing long-term accommodation, that's not quite as important. And you always do better if you have a little wow factor. I call it the house with the. Oh, I love that house with the soaking tub, or I love that house with the deck with the hanging bed. So think about what you can do to make it the house with the. Now, this is part science and part art. The science is, let's say you have a basement. Your zoning is, your building codes are going to dictate how high your ceilings must be. If they're 6 feet tall, that is not going to work, and that's not going to be an option for accommodation. But if you waterproof it and have raised storage, you could make money as a storage area. So, and then there are things like I talked about with the hanging bed and a soaking tub. There are things that you can do that are kind of more the art side of it that just make it more appealing than everybody else's. And that's something that I teach, and I love to teach it. So, if you feel your house is a good fit, you've checked with zoning and your HOA, so why should you work with me? Well, I've been an investor since the year Y2K or 2000. So you can do the math. I've been doing this a long time. I've been through the ups and the downs of the market, including the recession of 2007, 8, 9, when I had 16 rental properties and I was able to hang on and profit from all of them. Not to the level that I had been before, but I know people who lost everything, and I was able to hang on because I had made smart decisions in the beginning. I also had a property in Fiji and we went through a coup, but that's a story for another time. Because I have been using Happy Traveler funds for 5 years to live mortgage free. I have proven this method in 2 different places and I can help you do it. In the real estate investment world, they call it OPM, using other people's money. I have been using traveler funds, but your neighbors need you too. You might not make as much money, but there's a lot of competition right now in the vacation rental world. So now is the time to get your place ready, and you can go either way with it. You can go long term or you can go short term, and then later you can switch your approach. I am passionate about this. I was able to stay home with my daughter starting from when she was 16 months old and homeschool her all the way through graduation as a single mom. So I am passionate about helping other people realize the success that I had. 4,000 is the number of students I have in my online courses on vacation rentals, mostly vacation rentals. Thousands, the number of people I have spoken in front of around the world. Mastermind, we are going to do a mastermind. No one is going to be left behind. You are going to have lots of questions and I'm going to have lots of answers, or I'm going to help you figure out where to get those answers. And the last one, yours is mine. What goes in there is success. Your success is my success. So I am driven to help you succeed. You're ready to invest in your home and reap the rewards for years. You want to house hack your way to a life of more freedom? I mean, how free is it to not pay a mortgage? And often I don't pay my bills and I make a profit every month. That's a life of freedom. And if you have the time and money to invest, then let's talk. Let's set up a time one-on-one, and I would love it to be FaceTime or on your video where you can actually show me your space so that I can help you get a really good feel if this is a good fit going forward. I've been rehabbing houses off and on since 2000 and I love it, and I want to help other people find real success with it. Sign up below.